What's going on, guys? KrispyFlakes here. So people often ask me, how do I come up with my video ideas? Well, this is a... Hello?
Now, I show you inquired about a job on one of our websites. How are you doing today?
What was the job I acquired for?
I'm with EDU Matcher, and your question want to be moved. And I show here that we have multiple jobs available in your area. What type of job are you looking for?
I want to do Fortnite.
Uh-huh.
I want to be a full-time Fortnite
We
streamer.
do have quite a big database of jobs. Let me just gather some basic information, and we can narrow that list down, okay?
I want to play Fortnite.
I'm so sorry. What was that?
I want to play Fortnite for a living.
That's okay.
Well, time to go back to Earth. So you guys all remember the movie Space Jam, easily a top 3 movie of all time, right up there with Shazam and also Like Mike. You guys remember that scene out there where the 5 basketball players get their basketball superpowers taken away by the Monstars? Spoilers, by the way. And then they end up becoming really, really talented and giving Michael Jordan a run for the money out there. Well, what if that was to actually happen in the real life NBA? What if the Udonis Haslams of the world want to become the Hassan Whiteside? What if, I don't know, man, Zubac want to become LeBron James? What if every NBA team's worst players all of a sudden became the best players out there, man? What if they used that secret basketball and we had a reverse NBA? And before we start today's video, I'm going to take a nice sip of my Monstars energy drink. If you guys want 10% off on a Monstars energy drink at checkout, simply go up to your cashier and give them the coupon code. Please like this video. Seriously, I am desperate. I don't want to go and work at McDonald's again and fall into a deep abyss of darkness as my mind as I reminisce of my hopes and dreams of being a full-time YouTuber get crushed through the pressures of reality for 10% off. Okay, guys, so basically how this is going to work is one of my subscribers made a roster, really wanted me to use it for a video. So shout out to Diego for this roster here, guys. He took every single NBA player. He like reversed the talent. So you look at the Golden State Warriors, all of a sudden Jacob Evans III is the best player with a 97 overall, of course, taking Kevin Durant's rating, while Alfonso McKinney, he takes Stephen Curry's rating, and so on. Damian Jones is all of a sudden Boogie Cousins out there. You go all the way down the list, and now Durant, Stephen, and DeMarcus Cousins are now the worst players on the Golden State Warriors team. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a timestamp right here if you guys want to go straight to the simulation. Otherwise, I do want to take a look at every single roster here, kind of like get an idea who the starting 5 is going to be. I feel like it's a lot of fun to look at that type of stuff. So yeah, guys, check out the timestamp if you want to skip straight ahead to the simulation. So for the Philadelphia 76ers, their starting 5 is still going to be Markelle Fultz. Because you gotta keep in mind that if the top player gets switched with the worst player, then eventually it's going to meet in the middle, and all of a sudden, just like, you know, the 7th best player and the 8th best player, though, they're just gonna like switch ratings pretty much, but they're gonna be pretty similar in ratings anyway. So that's what the starting 5 is looking like for the Philadelphia 76ers. For the Milwaukee Bucks, you got George Hill, still 74 overall, but you got Christian Wood taking on the GOATness of Giannis Antetokounmpo. For the Bulls, the starting 5 is, of course, looking like this with the, I mean, their team wasn't really that high rate anyway, but Shaquille Harrison is going to be the new starting point guard for this team. Jabari Parker starting as a 73 overall power forward, while you got Lowry, Zach LaVine, Wendell Carter at the bottom of the league now as far as those that team goes. Cleveland Cavaliers, Matthew Dellavedova, Rodney Hood, Osman, Ante Zizic, and Channing Frye taking over the skill set of Kevin Love. For the Boston Celtics, that's their team. Their guys, Wanamaker, Jabari, Larry Bird, Semi Ojale, and Gershon Yopashur. Okay, for the Clippers, you got Tyrone Wallace, Jerome Robinson. That's the starting 5 right there. Here's what it's looking like for the Memphis Grizzlies. Joakim Noah now with 79 overall, with Javon Carter and Wayne Selden Jr. as the starting backcourt. It's also interesting to note too, man, is because like in some cases, like this one right here, you know, the top players is Marc Gasol and Mike Conley. While a point guard is still getting that top rating, you now have a shooting guard getting that second rating, where normally it would be a point guard / center of the Memphis Grizzlies be dominating out there. Atlanta Hawks still got Trae Young on the starting line. You got Daniel Hamilton. I've never heard of him. For the Miami Heat team, looking like this. Udonis Haslem going back to his prime self. Let's be honest, he was never 87 overall, but he was a good role player back in the day. I will admit to that. I believe he started on the same team that won the championship with Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal. He's been a lifer for the Miami Heat. Here, of course, is the Hornets team. We got the Utah Jazz we got the Sacramento Kings with Harry Giles and Labouchere killing it out there. For the New York Knicks, Frank Ntilikina now 75 overall, with Lance Thomas taking that 83 rating, and Luke Cornett 7-1 from Vanderbilt. Damn, this dude is about the freaking feast and beast. For the Los Angeles Lakers, you got Isaac Bonga taking that LeBron James rating, which is actually kind of dominant because he's 6'8 already. So he's got that LeBron James skill set out there. It's going to be crazy. You got Slav out there for the Orlando Magic team looking like this. For the Dallas Mavericks, you got Ryan Brokenhoff and Denny. Wow, dude. You got the Nets out there with Jared Dudley going back to his prime self as an 80 overall player. For the Denver Nuggets, you got Monte Morris, Malik Beasley, of course the best player, Jared Vanderbilt, taking Jokic's talent. For the Pacers, team looking like this. For the Pelicans, all of a sudden, Kenrich Williams is the new Anthony Davis. That bitch ass even got unibrow kind of guys. Look at that. He's got a little hair, a little fuzz out there, a little peach fuzz between his eyebrows. For my Detroit Pistons, we got Bruce Brown, the new Andre Drummond, with Henry Ellenson as the new Blake Griffin. For the Toronto Raptors, Lorenzo Brown is the new Kawhi Leonard. For the Houston Rockets, Michael Carter-Williams and Gary Clark are the new James Harden and Chris Paul duo. No, I'm sorry, that was Clint Capella and James Harden. Here is the San Antonio Spurs with Chimezie Metu. He's LaMarcus Aldridge. Now, for the Phoenix Suns, you got Eli Okubo as the Devin Booker of this team. You guys finally have a point guard, man. It took a crazy what if for it to happen, but here we are. For the OKC Thunder, the new Russell Westbrook is Abdul Nader, which is just an awesome name for a basketball player. Might I add, and Terrence Ferguson finally living up to his draft hype. For the Timberwolves, we do have Jared Bayless as the new shooting guard of this team, taking Karl-Anthony Towns' talent. For the Trailblazers, we got Wade Baldwin. And then for the Golden State Warriors, we saw that team out there. It's still a super team. And then for the Washington Wizards, of course, you got Troy Brown Jr. and Okara White as the new John Wall and Bradley Beal. So as far as the team we are going to check out for this, I don't really have a preference. I guess I'm curious how, I don't know, man. Let's see how Cornette does for the New York Knicks. Probably not a good record because really the crazy thing is going to be seeing how like the tendencies, all that stuff plays out. See who gets like, rookies of the year and who gets, I don't know, man, all that crazy stuff. MVP, defensive player of the year. So we are going to get going on this simulate through date. And as we go through this, guys, I actually brought up a list. And what's this? Release hardship exception player. All right, this is totally, I got a feeling it's going to screw up my game here, man. I brought up a list. It's on the website ranker.com, which I guess is like our ranking website. These are the players that people think are going to be the most improved players this season. Because, of course, we got some new improved players up in here. So the number one player, according to the fans of the NBA that are going to go out here and win the most improved player award, is Derrick Rose. He is listed as number one. Now, personally speaking, I do think he's having his best season, obviously, since his MVP season. He's been amazing out there, guys. But you also gotta have the mindset, if it wasn't for Derrick Rose, like if this was like somebody else's name, would you give him the most improved player award? I do think a big part of it is that the NBA and fans do love a nice story, and this of course is a great story. Number two player we have is De'Aaron Fox. He's definitely been killing it on the Sacramento Kings, so shout out to him. For the third most improved player according to these rankings, and keep in mind, it's not like there's not like millions of votes on here, so it would be very easy for just like 1 or 2 votes to overswing the votes out here, man. There's probably about 400 or 500 people voting on each player. Number 3, they have Pascal Siakam, who's been an absolute beast for the Toronto Raptors. I kind of knew he was going to eventually like come up as a nice big dude out here. Oh my God, we got Team Jabari Parker versus Team Alfonso. Bro, I gotta see how this turns out. So who are the actual All-Stars to choose from? We got... wow, it's not even showing. There we go. Alfonso McKinney as a starter. We got Jacob Evans, Kenrich Williams, Gary Clark, Jonah Bolden, Jerry Bayless, Devontae Graham, Henry Ellenson, and Troy Brown Jr. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and auto-draft that. I'm not going to worry too much about that right there. But there are your all-star players, guys. Yeah, I even saw Greg Monroe on there, too. Okay, let's get going on this simulation again. Some other top players out there. Zach LaVine. I know a lot of Bull fans want him to win it. I know he's out for a few weeks with some injuries, so I don't really think he's going to win it. I think it's going to come down to a player that plays the majority of the season. We got Javale Mcgee, who's been fantastic for the Los Angeles Lakers. I know when they signed him, it was like to a $1 or $2 million contract. Nobody really expected him to be like one of the league leaders in blocks and just killing it on the inside. Apparently Buddy Hield, he's number 6 on this list. I know he's been scoring, some pretty good buckets out there for the Sacramento Kings. You got Jamal Murray. He definitely is another player in the comparisons, or in the rankings, I should say. You got Sabonis, Tobias Harris, Karis LeVert, another player on the list. I mean, he would have been up, running for it if he didn't go down with that horrible ankle injury. Josh Richardson, Montrezl Harrell, Julius Randle. Yeah, man, I think, my honest opinion, I think the player that's going to win is probably Derrick Rose, and that's nothing against the other players out here. It just simply comes down to the fact that, it's a great story. It's a great story, Derrick Rose coming back, because he has come back, guys. He has come back. So they should rename it the comeback player of the year, but not the most improved player, but whatever. We got one more game against the Detroit Pistons. Who is going to be MVP? Is it going to be Jabari Parker? Because that would just be kind of crazy. MVP is Alfonso McKinney of the Golden State Warriors at 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. We got Devontae Graham as Rookie of the Year. Alize Johnson as 6-man. I have not heard of you, man. Are you really the Vinny Johnson, the microwave? Because you heated up that 6-man spot. Yo, got the man's face cut off. What's even... Who is the design man for 2K? I need a name and a number and probably an email address. Because that is... His face is off the screen. Well, Icky, Aniko, you, defensive player. I don't know, man. And we got most improved, Rodney Hood, good for him. And then we got Brad Stevens as Coach of the Year. Okay, that Boston Celtics team looks like it might be deadly with all those no-names on there. Here is the All-NBA first team, All-NBA second, and All-NBA third. Of course, the Defensive Players of the Year, Henry Ellenson. Oh my God, dude, not in a billion trillion years. Kyle Anderson got a freaking worse forehead than I do. Well, not really, but I mean, it's right up there with mine. It's right up there, I will say that. Rookie of the Years, okay, that's all good. These are what the playoffs are looking like. Before we do the playoffs and see who wins this all, let's go to the player stats on the season. So, our boy Korn, man, 19 points, 11 rebounds per game. I'm just going to simply go through this pretty quickly here so you guys can all see your favorite team. Feel free to pause on it if you'd like to. Michael Porter is 80 overall at 15 points per game. I'm kind of curious who we got switched out with right there. Because another thing I don't know is the person that made this roster, I don't know if they gave players their actual attributes or if they just kind of upped what they were already kind of good at. So let's use McKinney as an example. I believe he was switched out with Kevin Durant. So let's see if he has Kevin Durant-esque stats out there. No, he might have been switched out. He was actually switched, I believe, with Stephen Curry. Okay, yeah. So it looks like he gave him Stephen Curry's. No, because Curry got better passing vision than that. He's got to, right? I don't know, man. This is nuts. I was not expecting just the craziness of this video. I don't know if I've been through every single team so far, but just to make sure, we went up to the New York Knicks. As far as league leaders, these are the top scorers in the entire NBA. Henry Ellenson leading all scorers at 23 points, 13 rebounds per game, guys. How do you knock an MVP then? If, I guess, maybe McKinney, he had the rebounds, he had the assists. Okay, so nobody really absolutely took over, but it's a whole bunch of consistency out there. So I was expecting some 30-point per game scorers out there and things along those lines. Let's go ahead and simulate these playoffs and see who wins it all. I guess I'll put my money on the Boston Celtics or maybe the Toronto Raptors because they always win in this game. They actually already are in the second round. They beat out the second seed in a sweep. All right, we got teams getting eliminated left and right, guys. So I guess a question for the comment section below. Let me know, who's a player on your team that doesn't exactly get minutes, but you do think that in a season 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, they are going to be either a really good role player or potentially a star for your team. I will say, man, I'm not a Boston Celtics fan, but Robert Williams, I think that guy is going to be nice. Aaron Baines is out for a few weeks, so I'm hoping he makes the most of his minutes out there. And we do have the Boston Celtics beating out the Golden State Warriors. Jabari Larry Bird as the MVP at 21 points per game. Let's see how everybody else did out there. Yeah, man, that was the team out there. There's Robert Williams, who is now a 82 overall. Didn't really do all that much in this case. But yeah, hope you guys all enjoyed this video. I do hope you guys are enjoying the editing and stuff like that. I know some people are not going to like it. I completely understand that because it's different than my typical type of videos that I make on this channel. But I am just trying to branch out as a person and a personality-wise. I want to be more than somebody who just talks about basketball. I also want to entertain you guys. So I do appreciate all the love and support. If you, you guys can never just drop a like on the video. Helps out so much. Helps my confidence in this. So yes, until next time, peace out, my friends.